Hi, I'm Erica.
And I'm Lynn.
And we are here today with our Swan Square Dance quilt. So we kind of dressed in the theme.
Yeah.
We were going to dance, but we didn't have enough room on the set and they didn't want to rearrange. So we just put on our hats instead.
Right, so yeehaw! Let's take a look at this great quilt pattern.
So I love the red and white. And Lynn, what fabric do we have?
We've got, this is Kinderfolk by Connecting Threads.
Great. And I love that this is one of our cube quilts. It uses a lot of dies, but all of the dies used in this are found in the 8-inch cube and the 8-inch companion.
Right, so this is a great example of what you can really do to expand the possibilities of what you can do with the cube. And it's not just about making 8-inch blocks. Here we've got, what we're going to show you is really the quarter block here that makes, 4 of those make the entire block, and we've got 2 different blocks that we're going to talk about to make this quilt.
Great, so each one of these super blocks is made out of 4 smaller ones, and one of those is the one I've got here. It's a drunkard's path with 4 patch.
Right, and then I have, this is a signature block with flying geese.
Great.
Okay, so those are the 2 blocks that make up the entire quilt. So pretty easy, but really you get this great effect from it.
You really do.
So, and we were talking that with the red and white is beautiful, but it could be blue and white or
green and white. You could do a tan and a brown. You could really mix it up, but the light and dark is what really makes it, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, so we do have our stack of dies over here. There are quite a few dies, so I don't think we're going to go through all of them.
Right.
But again, from your Go Cube and your Go companion set with the 8-inch. But I did want to show with the signature block, so the signature block is in the companion set, so we have one cut here. And then it matches up with the number 5 shape, the half square triangle, from the original cube, mix and match.
Right, so, and the way to remember that is you've got your 2 points here and we're just going to make our square have 2 more points. So,
right, so this is one of my favorite blocks and shapes, and I think it really adds a lot to all these other blocks that you put together.
It really does. When you look at the full quilt, I don't think you have to get into it before you see what that shape has actually been made out of, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so, and it makes a lot of really neat secondary designs too.
Exactly.
So we're going to focus on, though, your drunkard's path.
Yes, we are. This one right over here. So we're going to get one cut. We're going to cut a couple of them. There's only 1 in each one of the 4 squares, so actually you could cut enough of these. If you had your 4 layers, you could cut enough in one pass to do one of the great squares. So
right,
we're going to do a couple of them right now.
Okay, so I am going to, I'll run this through twice, but I've got fabric here. I've got, this isn't a directional shape, so we can fan fold this one. And I just got 2 layers. I'm just going to set that on this die, and then I've got my other fabric here. And again, I've just got 2 layers, and I'm going to set that on the other shape that makes the drunkard's path.
Okay, and we're going to, of course, your 6x6 mat is going to come in your cube and your companion for you.
Right.
And just like always, we've got our lengthwise grain parallel to our lengthwise blade as it goes lengthwise through the cutter.
Right, so you can see how easily that cut the fabric, and you've got your notch right there that we'll hear a little bit more about here in a minute.
If you're like me and you've sewn garments before, having those notches pre-cut is really cool, because I remember being taught how to sew and how difficult it was to cut all of those. But gosh, it makes it so easy to line this up and sew it. So don't be afraid of curves.
Okay, and wow, look how easily that cut that shape too. Imagine how long that takes to cut those shapes by hand.
So the key really, a couple of keys. One is going to be that we've got our notches. And you always want to put your concave piece on the top when you're sewing. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to line these up, and I'm a pinner, Lynn. And even if you're not a pinner, I suggest being a pinner when you're doing this, because that's going to put it just right there. We're going to go ahead, curve down, and it may help you to put a pin at the beginning and the end as well, just to make sure that everything comes out where it should be and to help you get started. I'm going to go ahead and get one more pin in here. So again, I'm a 3-pin girl here. I've got one at the beginning, one at my notch, lining up my notches, and then one at the end. We've got that concave piece on top. Be sure you've got your 1/4 inch, either a 1/4 inch foot or got your right setting on here.
And this drunkard's path is a little bit more challenging because of its size, whereas the 12-inch is, the shaped pieces are larger, so that one's a lot easier for beginners.
It is, and keep in mind that like with this, if you looked at the directions, obviously the fabric requirements would be different, but our cubes and companions are all going to be numbered the same. So the same shapes are going to have the coordinating numbers in all the different sizes. And I like to get a couple of stitches in there first and line it up. Now a lot of people will use a stiletto when they're sewing a curve, and I think we've talked about that before. This is a little one. I didn't grab mine. I'm going to wing it without. I'm going to go right up to my pin. Of course, we don't want to sew over our pins. And I'm halfway done. And really, I think that you could do a lot of chain piecing with this block, Lynn. Go ahead and do all your, get your challenge out of the way first off. Do all your, get those curved pieces done and you'd be ready to roll. And just like we've got our little, well, that's where I wish I had my stiletto. Just like we have our little ironing board over here. That's good to have as well, so that you can, once you get rolling, you've got your little ironing board and iron right there, and you're ready to go. And then when you take it over to press it, it's going to show you how it wants to press. Usually they're going to want to press either away or towards. Give it a tug, let it tell you where it wants to lie. Give it a quick press. And right there, we've got it. We're lined up, and we're good to go.
Yeah, it looks great. Everything
so we've got our little curve done there. So you could just run through all of those curves, get them all out of the way, and be ready to go on with some straight seams.
Right.